A new job, $38,000 a year. You did the math in your head on the drive home. That is over $3,000 a month. You started planning, maybe a better apartment, maybe finally catching up on bills, maybe breathing room for the first time in years. Then your first paycheck hit and the number made no sense. Hundreds of dollars just gone. Before you bought groceries, before you paid rent, before you lived your life at all. That $38,000 was never yours, not even close. And nobody told you that before you signed. Here is what most people do not understand. Your salary is not your income. Your salary is a number on a piece of paper. It is the number they tell you to make you feel good about saying yes. Your income, your real income, is what actually lands in your checking account every 2 weeks. And those two numbers are wildly different. Think about it this way. If someone told you dinner cost $25, but when the bill came, it was $25 plus tax, plus tip, plus a service fee, plus a parking charge, you would feel tricked. That is what your salary does to you. Every single pay period. The gap between what you earn and what you keep is massive, and it is not an accident. The system is built around your gross pay. Your rent application asks for gross income. Your car loan approval uses gross income. Credit card companies calculate your limit based on gross income. But you do not pay rent with gross income. You pay rent with what is left. And what is left is a lot less than $38,000. So where does it all go? Let us walk through it. First, federal income tax. On $38,000, you fall into the 12% federal tax bracket, but taxes are graduated. That means you do not pay 12% on everything. You pay 10% on the first $11,600, then 12% on the rest up to $38,000. That adds up to roughly $4,300 a year taken by the federal government. Next, state income tax. This depends on where you live. Some states take nothing. Others take 5% or more. If you are in a state with a 4.5% rate, that is another $1,710 gone. Then there is FICA. That stands for Federal Insurance Contributions Act. It is Social Security and Medicare pulled straight from your check. Social Security takes 6.2%. Medicare takes 1.45%. Together, that is 7.65% of your gross pay. On $38,000, that is $2,907 a year. You did not choose this. You did not opt in. It just disappears. And we are not done. If your employer offers health insurance, that premium comes out before you see a dime. The average employee share for a single plan is about $1,400 a year. Some plans cost double that. So already, before you spend a dollar on your actual life, you have lost roughly $10,300. Your $38,000 just became about $27,700. That is your actual gross to net journey. And most people have never seen it laid out like this. Now here is where it gets painful. Because $27,700 is not actually what you get to spend either. There are costs you pay just to go to work. Invisible costs, costs that never show up on your pay stub but come straight out of your life. Let us do the full math. You drive to work. The average American commute is about 28 miles round trip. At the current IRS mileage rate of 67 cents per mile, that is roughly $18.76 a day. Over 250 working days, your commute costs about $4,700 a year. Maybe you take public transit instead. Monthly passes in most cities run $80 to $130. That is still $960 to $1,560 a year. Let us say yours is $1,100. Then there is food. You buy coffee on the way in, grab lunch near the office, maybe a snack from the vending machine. Even being modest, $8 a day on work meals adds up to $2,000 a year. Work clothes. Even if your job is not corporate, you still need presentable outfits, shoes that hold up, a decent bag, budget $500 a year, and that is being conservative. Childcare. If you have kids, this number explodes. But we will set that aside for now and keep this simple. So take your $27,700. Subtract $4,700 for commuting. Subtract $2,000 for work food. Subtract $500 for work clothes. You are down to $20,500. That is $1,708 a month on a $38,000 salary. Let us say it one more time. You were told you would earn $38,000, and your real spending power is closer to $20,500. That means roughly 46% of your salary vanishes before you buy groceries for your home, before your rent check, before your electric bill. Even if we use a cheaper commute, say $1,100 for transit instead of $4,700 for driving, your take-home still only climbs to about $23,400. That is $1,950 a month. On a $38,000 salary, you are really living on $1,950 a month. That is the number nobody puts in the job listing. This is not an accident. The system benefits from your confusion about your own money. Think about who wins when you believe you make $38,000. Landlords. When you apply for an apartment, they use your gross income to decide if you qualify. The standard rule is rent should be 30% of your gross. 30% of $38,000 is $11,400 a year, or $950 a month. But your real monthly budget is $1,950. That $950 rent takes nearly half of your actual cash. The landlord does not care. You qualified on paper. Lenders do the same thing. Car loan approvals are based on your gross salary. They will approve a $400 monthly payment because it fits your gross. But $400 out of $1,950, that is over 20% of your real money. Gone. To one payment. Credit card companies look at your reported income and set your limit high. According to the Federal Reserve, the average credit card interest rate is now over 22%. They want you to carry a balance. They want you to feel like you can afford things based on a number that was never real. Even the government participates. Your tax withholding is estimated. Many people over-withhold all year and then celebrate a tax refund. But that refund is not a gift. It is your own money, returned late, with zero interest. You gave the government a free loan. The entire system runs on your gross income, but you live on your net. That gap is where profits hide. And nobody explains this gap to you because the gap is the product. Now, the pushback you might be feeling. Everyone pays taxes, everyone has deductions. That is just how it works. And that is true. You cannot avoid federal tax. You cannot skip FICA. Those are real and they are permanent. But the invisible costs, the commuting and the lunches and the wardrobe, those you can control. And more importantly, once you know the real number, you stop making decisions based on the fake one. Here is your 3-step defense. Step 1. Calculate your true hourly rate. Take your real annual take-home, $23,400 in our example. Divide by 2,080 working hours. That is $11.25 an hour. Now, every purchase has context. That $60 sweater costs you over 5 hours of your actual life. Step 2, track your invisible work costs for 30 days. Write down every coffee, every gas fill-up for commuting, every lunch bought near the office. Most people discover $200 to $400 a month in costs they never counted. When you see it on paper, it changes. Step 3, rebuild your budget around your net, not your gross. Your rent, your groceries, your savings, all based on $1,950 a month, not $3,166. When your budget matches your real money, you stop feeling broken. You are not bad with money. You were building a life around a number that was never real. These 3 steps cost nothing. They take one afternoon, and they change how you see every dollar for the rest of your life. 2 people, both making $38,000 a year. Same city, same rent, same starting point. Person A never does this math. She sees $38,000 and builds her life around $3,166 a month. She signs a lease for $1,100 because the landlord approved her. She finances a car at $350 a month because the lender said yes. She eats out at work every day. She is $200 short every single month. So she puts the gap on a credit card. After 5 years, Person A has $8,400 in credit card debt at 22% interest. She pays $154 a month just in interest. She has no savings. She feels like she is failing. Person B sits down one afternoon and calculates her real number, $1,950 a month. She finds a room for $750. She takes public transit for $90 a month. She meal preps for work. Her work costs drop by $300 a month compared to Person A. Every month she puts $150 into a savings account. After 5 years, Person B has $9,000 in savings, zero credit card debt, and the same salary as Person A. The difference is not willpower. It is not discipline. It is not luck. The only difference is Person B knew her real number. She built her life around the truth, not the illusion on the offer letter. That one afternoon of math changed 5 years of outcomes. This is not your fault. Nobody handed you a paycheck and said, here is what it actually means. Nobody showed you the invisible costs. Nobody told you to budget from the bottom number, not the top. But now you know. You know $38,000 is not $38,000. You know how to find your real hourly rate. You know the system runs on a number that was never yours. And knowing changes everything. You are not someone who guesses anymore. You are someone who knows. And that started today.